Hello, Assalamualaikum everyone. I'm Sumaya. Okay. Welcome to the Master of Internal Medicine SPSS workshop. Okay. Let's proceed with our second session, data entry and data cleaning. Okay. Um, the common mistakes in data entry is usually due to the variable itself. Okay. There are some issues that with the variable. Um, as we all know that there is a principle of good measurement that need to be met. Okay, whether the variable is mutually exclusive means there is no overlap. Okay, and then the variable is exhaustive. Okay, so each outcome, each data has its own categories. Okay, and whether the data is unidimensional, which is whether all the data indicates the same function, which is if you are measuring height, all the data should uh, indicate the height. Okay, and then the type of variable in SPSS variable view. So from our first workshop, okay, from the first session, we know that SPSS has two view, the data view and variable view. Especially in the variable view, there are data type, right? Type of variable that need to be assigned. So usually candidates mix up and then forgot to change their string in, into numeric because they just transfer it from Excel. So by default it become a string. So actually we need to change it back to numeric. Okay, and the most common thing is typos. Okay, let's do it again the SPS interface. Okay, this is the data view interface and the right one is the variable view interface. Okay, so tips on data entry. Okay, leave data which you do not want to be analyzed as string. Example is the names. Okay, so that's the things. That's the data which is we can't analyze. So leave it as string. Okay. Other than that, please change it to numeric. Okay. Adjust the width if the data is too long. Example name, address. Otherwise, if you transfer it to from Excel to SPSS, you may lose some of the information. Okay, and then make sure other analyzable data is again is in numeric. Okay, decide appropriate decimal for the data. Okay, usually for measurement put 2. Okay, if you just category you can put a 0 decimal, so no problem. Okay, and then indicate missing values. Okay, either it's 999 or 8. Okay, from the first session I already taught you about that. Okay, appropriate measures. Okay, and then dichotomous data, it is available to code as 0 and 1 instead of 1 or 2. Okay. First one, how to insert a string type of data. As I mentioned earlier, usually the string type is the thing that is not analyzable, like name, address, what else? Usually name and address, right? Okay. Uh, and then we put in the first column name. Okay. Please remember you can't put any spaces because SPSS will detect it as illegal characters. And then type string. And then you can put the width. The maximum is 100. You can put the maximum 100. Okay. And then decimal is you can't actually edit that because your type is string. And then label. Okay, you can put this is where you can put spaces. Okay, participant space name, values not applicable, missing values I think not applicable as well. Other than that, you can just put as you wish. Okay, measure, it can be nominal because it's name, right? So this is your data will look like. Okay, so name, the heading column will be name. Okay, example here Nora FIFA. So it will allow you to make a space because the type is string. Okay, so that's how we insert string type of data. Next is numerical type of data. So there are usually two main type of data. This is common, okay, which is either ratio or categorical, okay, continuous or categorical. So here, example one is height. Height is the continuous variable, so the type should be numeric, and then the width. Usually, people height the maximum is 100 something, 200, right? Okay, maybe it's only three characters, right? So eight is acceptable. So I leave it by default is eight. So I just leave it like that. Okay, and then decimal I add by default is two. So it's okay. For height in centimeter, I put two decimal. Okay, and then I label it as height. Okay, there is no values applicable. And then missing also up to you. If you have missing, please assign it as 999 or 99 or 88. Okay, up to you. And then the important one is measures, where we should assign this variable as scale. Okay, because it is a new continuous variable. Okay, use this ruler icon scale. Okay. Next, okay, diabetes. Diabetes is one of the example for categorical variable, dichotomous, okay, because usually when we ask a participant, do you have diabetes? Yes or no, okay. So you can label it as, and decimal is not applicable, and then we can add values. So just now I told you about the tips on data entry. Assign no as 0 and 1 as yes. Okay, missing values. And the most important thing is the measure. We need to assign it as nominal because it's not an ordered categories, right? It's just a yes or no category. But in the last example, which is severity of pain, we have at least three categories, right? Mild, moderate, severe. So assign as one as mild, two as moderate, and three as severe. And the measures, I put it as ordinal. Okay, this is important, uh, especially when you are running a non-parametric test. Okay, because in non-parametric test, when you want to compare group, but your measure is in scale, SPSS won't allow you to run the analysis. Okay. Next, inserting dates. Okay, usually we use date when we are doing studies of survival rate. Okay, we would like to know the duration. Okay, sometimes you just for your info, date of interview. Okay, for cohort study, you want to see how long you have been follow up them. Okay, so you would like to divide the and follow up dates to the baseline dates. Okay, so how to insert the date? Okay, so you just click date, and then in the variable type you change as from numeric to date. Okay, and then you can just choose any format of writing dates. Okay, it's up to you, but you need to make sure the uniformity, right? If you are using the first one, so you need to insert like the first format. Okay. Next, how to compute raw data. Why do we want to compute data? Okay. The answer is as like you may want to simplify your data. So example here, you collected data on all the cardiovascular disease like angina, heart rate, cardiac arrest, congestive heart rate, heart procedure, cardiac bypass, or maybe you want to make it simple as has heart problem, doesn't has heart problem. Okay, so you want to simplify your data, therefore you want to compute your data. step is very simple. Just go to transform and compute variable. Okay, and then you need to insert the new number or the new name of your variable. Here I name it as number of heart problem. Okay, and then you just move your variable to the numeric expression and plus. Okay, just plus 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 plus. That's how we compute. Okay, we add up all the data um, that indicate the same things, right? So just now I asked you to, as I said that I want to make it as a has heart problem and doesn't has heart problem, right? But here I put as number of heart problem because when we add up, the number will be from 0 to the maximum is, if you have 7, you might have 7 total, the maximum number. So from this variable, you may then transform it into dichotomous variable. Okay, so don't worry about that. We will learn also about how to transform from the continuous variable to a categorical variable which has only 2 categories. Okay, so don't worry. Okay, what are the issues in data cleaning? Usually missing data, okay, and then the outliers, typos, okay, duplicates, and then sometimes you need to recode. Okay, so this is the issue that you need to rectify in data cleaning process. Okay, so this is the step for outliers. So you just analyze descriptive and frequency, and then put all the variable. Usually the outliers is mm, for the scale variable, which is the continuous variable. Okay, usually when you measure height or weight or like physical performance, there are always an outliers, or maybe due to typos or a real outlier. So you need to check in the data cleaning process. Okay, this is very easy, just to display. Okay, there is, so here example, so 1 3, and then some suddenly there are 55. This is the outliers, maybe due to your typos. Okay, and also categorical, this is the typos. Okay. If you also can use box plot, okay, to visualize your data, so you can see actually the SPSS help you to uh, identify the cases number which is the outlier. So case number 581 is the outliers. So you need to check your data view. Okay. Next, missing values analysis. So but this kind of analysis is only available in SPSS version 23 and below. I think 24 and 25, they ask us to buy. So basically this is the steps. So go analyze missing value analysis, and then put all the values into quantitative variable. If you are doing categorical variable, you put in the categorical variable box. Okay, and then this is the result. So MVA help you to identify how many missing data and how much the percentage of missing data. Okay. So if you don't have missing value analysis, do not worry. You can do it manually. Okay, so you just sort your variable. Okay, right click, sort ascending. Usually they will sort all the blank boxes up. Okay, so look out for the empty boxes. Okay, usually they just sort it as the first and second or third, the blank boxes, and then followed by the boxes with the data. So do not worry if you don't have any missing values analysis. Next, so to scrub the duplicates. Okay, usually duplicates is due to the repetition of the cases, right? So we would like to identify through the ID lah. Okay, so you go to data, identify duplicates, and then put your identifier in the defined matching cases. If you don't have identifier, please make one. Okay, so usually candidates just fill up the data in the Excel form but forgot to sign ID. So actually it should be anonymous. You put ID there. Okay. So the output will be like this. Okay. There are duplicate case and primary case. Okay. Mm. So SPSS will show you the primary last as 0 and the duplicate case as 0 and the primary case as 1. Okay. So I think that's end my presentation for session 2. So we learn on how to enter our data according to the type. It's either string, numeric, or date. Okay, and also how to clean and rectify the issue with the data, the typos, missing values, and then the duplicates. Okay, so I think that's end my session 2. Thank you for listening.